taking the debate forward now with Ratan, Sharda joining our panel this evening. Abhishek and Navika stay on with us, and there we have Sumanth, Raman, and Kumar Ketkar joins us. I mean, now I hope, is there a complaint on this on his message on Subramanian Swamy as well, because this was his first and most direct message that Swamy's comments are inappropriate, they are more self-serving than one spurred by national interest. Surely the Prime Minister can't get more direct than that. Kumar Ketkar, does the comment on Swamy sort of put an end once and for all on the speculation that his attacks have the tacit approval of the top leadership? Because that was your charge as well.
No, I don't think
it was your charge as well.
Let us see what Subramanian Swamy says hereafter.
No, what do you mean? What does he say here?
No, we don't know whether the message has reached.
Okay, Ratan, 1 second. Ratan Sharda debating that. Ratan Sharda, 1 second. Ratan Sharda, Kumar Ketkar says the Prime Minister's statements on Subramanian Swamy mean nothing. We now need to see.
I did not say mean nothing. I said we have to wait till Subramanian Swamy reacts or tweets.
Well, whether Subramanian Swamy has maintained a studied silence barring one cryptic tweet, whether he sheathes his sword after his disapproval on Twitter, the fact is the Prime Minister said that Swamy's comments are those coming from a person whose publicity ka shock hai. I don't think there can be a bigger snub to Swamy. Ratan Sharda.
Arnab.
Yeah.
I would like to say that Mr. Kumar Ketkar, being a speechwriter for many Congress leaders, he believes that Modi should say what he wants him to say. That's not right. Modi has made a statement which behoves a dignified Prime Minister of a country to defend his bureaucrats, and he has said it clearly that the way to it is not the way to criticize the public bureaucrats, and he has had his say. And if Swamy is keeping low, he understands that when Modi says something, one has to listen. So the whole
Sumanth Raman.
He said he cannot say, could not have said.
Sumanth Raman, debate going forward. Sumanth countering you, Mr. Sharda.
There is Sumanth here who some days back said that you could.
Whatever the Prime Minister has said has had its impact in the short term. In the immediate term, it has had an impact in the sense that we've not had any tweets in the last 24 hours which are basically aggravating the situation further. So clearly, in the immediate term, it's had an impact. But is that going to be the trend going forward?
Siddharth,
is something that we just have to wait and see. I don't think we should. Yeah.
No, Mr. Sumanth,
we just have to see how.
You're a person who wanted to condone the corruption of Shaktikanta, isn't it? Mr. Sumanth is the person who 3 days back was trying to defend Shaktikanta Das because corruption was outdated.
There is no question of condoning corruption.
You said it is 5-year-old, remember this?
These are issues.
Yes, you said that. You look at your record. This is what he said. This is what he said.
Now,
maybe no. See, you have no say in how BJP treats its leaders. Ms. Sumanth, how can you decide how BJP will treat its leaders?
No, 1 minute.
Those who are talking of freedom of expression, now today are asking for disciplinary action against Swamy. Your point is that you want to condone corruption because Swamy talks about it. I am saying Modi said exactly what a PM is supposed to say. Period. That's another story.
No. You don't have an unfettered license. There is something called.
Are you going to decide party discipline? Let's let Prabhunath Singh decide about it.
No, of course.
You cannot decide BJP's discipline, sir.
Balance between the two.
Mr. Modi has sent a clear message. It will go down.
Happening here. What is it?
The analysis to this is
why are you unhappy?
Okay, Mr. Sharda.
Mr. Singh be unhappy.
Mr. Sharda and Mr. Sumanth Raman, if I may be permitted to just come in here, and I want actually Siddharth to respond on how long this will last. But Abhishek, I saw your hand go up. I'm coming to you in a minute, Navika and Abhishek, just a while. But before I come to you, you see what is Subramanian Swamy's strategy. He has been trying to cloak his attacks, whether it's on Jaitley or Shaktikanta Das, right, or RBI Governor, under the garb of patriotism. Right? So Modi is now telling the country that stop your publicity stunts. That makes Modi's response a little bit more telling. On the question, Siddharth Singh, on whether you'll be able to control a person like Swamy in the long term. You see, party has not officially issued a diktat to Subramanian Swamy to cease and desist his attacks. The Prime Minister has made a strong comment. But is this going to set the red line? Siddharth, please respond to that. No, what's your question?
He said, to the extent
what's your question?
There will be bloodbath. He said to the extent that there will be bloodbath. So, Swamy said.
But that was before the interview.
Well, he has already explained. Swamy has already explained.
Okay, he said that.
Well, Mr. Ketkar, he has already explained. So, if you want to catch on to Mr. Subramanian Swamy and then corner the government or the party, then his explanation on the bloodbath baat also you should be taking on the face value. You cannot decide as a cherry picking.
Arnab,
as far as Arnab, your question is concerned,
Arnab, as a nominated
all I
MP,
can I answer? Can I answer, Mr. Ketkar?
Arnab,
You will also remain in the red lines.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Go on.
Now, as far as Arnab, your question is concerned, I will not be in a position to answer yes, no, but yes. All I can say is whether it is anybody who had been making in the past comments which embarrasses the party or the government, they all have high regards for the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and
okay.
once
I think
he
Navika
gives
and
the
Abhishek both
statement,
come
in that respect, they will all continue to ensure that the agenda of the Prime Minister is not derailed, and those who are trying to take advantage because of those comments will keep a check and restraint on it, and I'm quite sure that will be maintained.
No, but is the focus more on the people trying to take advantage or the person making the comments? I think it should be the latter. Navika wanted to come in. Abhishek wanted to come in on that debate as well. Just a reminder before both of them come in that on May 26th, Amit Shah had drawn a clear line between Swamy's position and that of the parties. I think Amit Shah clearly said the party stand is spelt out by me. I will only say the party stand is articulated by me. Now the Prime Minister has put a direct rebuke because Subramanian Swamy did not fall in line after the first warning. Navika and Abhishek wanted to come in. Navika and Abhishek. Navika and Abhishek in that order, please. Yeah.
Arnab, you have to take two of Swamy's remarks separately. One is the remark on Raghuram Rajan, which has been addressed separately by the Prime Minister, where he said people are not bigger than the system and his patriotism is unquestionable. That's the rebuff coming to Swamy on the issue of Raghuram Rajan. On the issue of Swamy taking on several bureaucrats, because you asked him that separately and he responded to that separately, Arnab. He said whether on the issue of Shaktikanta or the issue of the Chief Economic Advisor Arvind Subramanian, he said this is publicity hungry. And both these, it's not missed on anyone, were attacks on Finance Ministry officials, which was an indirect attack on Finance Minister Arun Jaitley himself, because nobody is missing out on the fact that there is animosity from Swamy's side for Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. So the Prime Minister has taken this opportunity to send
put his
that
weight behind
message to
Jaitley.
Swamy very directly that this is publicity stunt and this should not be continued because attacks on the Finance Minister will not be tolerated.
No, but you see, I think what is quite clear is the Prime Minister has put his weight firmly behind his Finance Minister. Abhishek also wanted to come in and I wanted a reaction. Abhishek, yes please, Abhishek.
Yeah, if I could add to what Navika said, you know, Arnab, there was a context in which Prime Minister put his foot down so strongly, and the context was that in the intervening period, despite BJP distancing itself from Mr. Swamy's comments, despite Amit Shah giving that restraining statement, and despite Finance Minister himself very unequivocally saying that the government backs it officials, Mr. Swamy continued with his tirade, and that is the context in which Prime Minister perhaps had no option but to really come out as strongly as possible for maintaining decorum in public life, Arnab.
Yes, absolutely, and I want to come in, but however, you know,
Arnab, can I make a quick point?
Just what I wanted to get, I wanted to get Siddharth back on the previous point on how long this will last. You see, we are hearing that the central leadership of the BJP has, you know, forced the cancellation of 2 party events where Subramanian Swamy was supposed to speak. I don't know whether the writing is on the wall as far as Swamy is concerned, but you know, sort of 6 days back, the BJP had maintained that Swamy's opinion was its own. Despite Swamy's direct attack on Arun Jaitley, the BJP so far was largely muted in its condemnation of Jaitley or its defense of Jaitley or its condemnation of Swamy. Now the Prime Minister throws his weight. Question is this the end of the story? Because it's believed that, you know, the Subramanian Swamy carries the backing of other elements in the Sangh Parivar. Please answer and address that question. Please answer and address that question, Siddharth. Yeah.
Arnab, as far as what the government's viewpoint is or of the minister backing by the Prime Minister, I think that has been made very, very clear. I don't need to elaborate on that. And as far as the viewpoint is concerned of Mr. Swamy, the President has already made it clear, which you just referred to.
No, if he defies the Prime Minister's warning now, what happens is, now after this, if he defies the Prime Minister's warning, what happens then?
I was coming to that. I was just coming to that.
No, what's your,
I don't think we should judge to any conclusion.
Siddharth, only
we will cross the bridge when it comes. No, when it comes. But the message is loud and clear. I don't think don't think anybody would be defying the Prime Minister's viewpoint now.
So many times before on communal question, on religious rights question, Prime Minister's warnings have been defied by the party's leadership in Uttar Pradesh. And they have not been questioned, they have not been brought under the disciplinary action.
Not.
Ratan Sharda, counseling Ratan Sharda. Ratan Sharda.
From Aditya Nath to Mahendra Sharma.
Mr. Ketkar belongs to a party, supports a party which is run by a family. He does not understand democratic norms. He does not understand how a leader should speak. He cannot appreciate how the democracy in the party is maintained. He is speaking as if he is speaking about Congress party. Sorry, this is not Congress party.
Stop all this nonsense of Congress and all that. Where is Congress involved in this? We are discussing BJP.
Statesman speaking.
We are
Listen to the leader of BJP speaking and draw the conclusion.
Mahendra Sharma and Prime Minister. We are not discussing what Congress does.
You can dictate to family party by the family rules.
All that I would like to say is when Digvijay Singh says, one second, can I just finish?
On what ground are you saying that is not enough?
Just a minute.
Give me a reason. Why you say Mr. Modi has not spoken enough?
Sonia Gandhi says,
he has
I don't believe in
enough of that.
Nobody says, will Digvijay Singh stop?
I have on the phone line. Okay, can I get a third voice into this? And I have with me senior journalist and former editor of Times of India, Dilip Padgaonkar, with me on the phone line. I think you've been listening to this for the last 10 minutes. Mr. Padgaonkar, good evening. Kumar Ketkar, you know well, is in the studio tonight, and we are having this debate on Subramanian Swamy comment by the Prime Minister. Siddharth, Nath, Singh, Ratan, Sharda, Sumanth, Raman with us. Navika, our executive editor, as well as Abhishek is with us now. Tell me, were you satisfied with the statement on Subramanian Swamy that he made? Is this going to be the end of this controversy, Mr. Padgaonkar?
First of all, Arnab, I'd say that in terms of content, in terms of tone, in terms of reach, and in terms of impact, your interview with the Prime Minister is one of Indian journalism's finest art.
Thank you, sir.
As far as this discussion has proceeded so far, one has to understand that the Prime Minister has to be far more circumspect than anyone else in the government or in the party. And within the sphere of circumspection, I think the Prime Minister has made very clear where he stands on the issue of Raghuram Rajan and Subramanian Swamy. He has been equally forthright, I think, in terms of what he had to say about what you in your question called various fringe elements which have been made heroes, quote unquote, by the media. So I would say that this kind of debate that's going on, he should have said it earlier, he should have been firmer and so on, makes no sense. He is a Prime Minister. In fact, there is one sentence, part of a sentence in his reply which I thought was truly quite interesting. He said, I'm an apolitical Prime Minister. What it means is that I'm going to focus only on development and everything else matters the least to me. Within the government and within the party, we shall solve all these problems that you've been mentioning about Subramanian Swamy and the rest. And I think matters should be allowed to rest there. Yep. But truly, I think, and if you pardon me, Arnab, yesterday I saw a different kind of Narendra Modi and I saw a different kind of Arnab Goswami. This is what public debates ought to be in our country. Decent, sober, fact-based. And I must say, I was absolutely enthused by the end of the interview.
I thank you, Mr. Padgaonkar, for coming in with that intervention. We'll talk more. Thank you very much. Now, the point here is, I want to go back to the debate on this point. Navika made the point on Mr. Jaitley. You see, Mr. Jaitley was the real target of Subramanian Swamy's attack. What did the Prime Minister do? He has thrown his weight behind Jaitley by endorsing what Arun Jaitley said a few days back about discipline. But you seem to be disappointed about it. No, Mr. Kumar, this is exactly what you criticized. But now you seem to be...
In fact, I am happy that finally Prime Minister has spoken.
Siddharth,
he should have spoken much before.
So now the question is about the timing.
He should have spoken much before.
But the interview was yesterday.
To avoid all this unnecessary controversy.
Okay.
All this unnecessary controversy.
Why you
Siddharth is responding.
the way you wish him to answer, and the timing has to be the way you think he must be choosing. So let's not give. The Prime Minister has his own way of communicating. He chose when to speak, and he has chosen, and he has given the message which is very, very clear where he stands and what he stands for and with whom he stands. So I don't think you should be questioning those things as a senior journalist.
Right. Ratan, Sharda and Sumanth Raman also, please. Yes, please. Ratan Sharda wanted to come in.
Arnab, I would say in your 180 minutes of, in 80 minutes of your interview, this particular question was hardly half a minute or 1 minute. And we are spending half an hour.
No, because it was
wonderful questions, spectrum of the whole range of questions you asked, and the great responses he gave, very clearly enunciated. One of the best interviews, and we are cribbing about one sentence he talked about Swamy.
I think there's a rationale for that.
Are we going to derail the agenda or the whole interview on a minor point?
No.
People like Kumar Ketkar want to dictate what Prime Minister will say.
Sumanth Raman, please. Sumanth Raman. I think
this is cribbing. This is not a solid point.
No.
Timing has to be decided by Prime Minister Modi, not by journalists.
Sumanth,
not by media.
Sharda, please.
He will decide when to say what.
So much
not the journalist.
The BJP will have on Dr. Swamy. No, 1 minute. There is only so much leverage that the BJP can have on Dr. Swamy. As a nominated MP, let's assume hypothetically they take some action against him and even suspend or expel him. What happens? He continues to remain in the Rajya Sabha. That becomes a worse problem for the BJP to handle, because he is then a free agent, so to speak, to take on all comers. So I think there is a problem. They have to handle it very delicately. No, because let's look at it very objectively. Going by his track record,
Sumanth, are you worried?
To say that the last has
are you worried that Congress will be exposed?
No. See, so far he has been useful to the BJP in carrying out these.
Your argument,
the series of charges on the
his anti-corruption crusade is well known. His style of speaking is a problem, not his facts. Mr. Sumanth, remember,
but may I?
His facts are impeccable. It's only the way he speaks that is the problem.
But may
not with his facts.
May I say one thing, gentlemen?
So he has to be disciplined in that way.
I have one intervention. I have one intervention. Ratan Sharda and Sumanth Raman. I have one intervention. And though I think Mr. Kumar Ketkar is eminently capable of defending himself for all the powwows that we have on the program, I think it is unfair to call Kumar Ketkar a Congress member. He may agree with the Congress on certain issues, but he's a senior journalist. So I would just say
he's a speech writer.
No Congress at all.
No personal comments. And now, however, I want to go back to the issue. The issue is this, and Navika and Abhishek following the political trends would perhaps see. Let us understand, and we'll just spend a couple of minutes on this, and we're going to Newshour at 9. Why did the Prime Minister make that comment on Subramanian Swamy? It was fairly clear, and I told him when he made the comment that this is as straight a comment as can be made. And then he followed up by, making a second observation. You see, only days ago, when Swamy was taking a swipe at Jaitley, I think it was a day after he attacked Arvind Subramanian Swamy had claimed to have an open line with the Prime Minister and the BJP President. Right, Abhishek? That was what he said. So at that time, when I remember we debated this, those comments were interpreted as Subramanian Swamy is attacking Arvind Subramanian with official sanction. So Prime Minister was putting an end to that speculation. That's how I see it. Abhishek and Navika, please. I wanted your understanding on that. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. In fact, Arnab, the fact that Mr. Swamy in the intervening period continued with his tirade, and not just about RBI Governor, but other officers of the government, despite warning not from the BJP President alone, but from the Finance Minister also. And the fact that he made that comment that perhaps, or an indirect allusion to it, to the fact that maybe he had some kind of direct blessings from the party chief or the government itself. There was no option perhaps but for the Prime Minister to really make that strong comment, and that is the reason why the Prime Minister delved in so much detail and made a very elaborate comment to your question about Mr. Swamy's statements not just about RBI governor, but also about other senior officers in the government.
Arnab, these statements were made by Subramanian Swamy via Twitter on a day when the finance minister was in China. Yeah. And from China, the finance minister actually sent out his disapproval of taking on his senior official Shaktikanta Das. So he also put it on record. So clearly neither side was backing down, and it was really up to the Prime Minister to take a position on this. And let me tell you that it is not going to be Subramanian Swamy henceforth. It's going to be Arun Jaitley who's going to be in the seat where he always has been consulted by the Prime Minister, and tomorrow there's a very high level meeting between Prime Minister Amit Shah and Arun Jaitley on the possible cabinet reshuffle. So Subramanian Swamy being sidelined and Arun Jaitley back where he belongs, which is in the top 3 as far as the cabinet.
One minute. Anybody writing off Dr. Swamy on this issue is doing so at their own
You see, let me put it this way. Let me put it this way. Sumanth. Listen, Sumanth. It's not a question of writing off or not. All that Navika was making is I think a straightforward point. The attack was on Arun Jaitley, and Prime Minister went and strongly supported Arun Jaitley. So it's a conscious decision. When the Prime Minister says, I'm backing my finance minister, not a newly inducted Rajya Sabha MP. But on that, just one point, you see, Subramanian Swamy is in a way, whichever controversial way, he's been his own man.
He's a maverick.
He may be a maverick, whatever. I don't want to get into adjectives, but the question is, does this gentleman hold fire, sit back, become a disciplined soldier of the BJP? Or are we ready for a long and messy battle ahead that could embarrass the party? Because let's not forget his defiant bloodbath tweet. He made the bloodbath tweet. Siddharth, how far is too far, Siddharth?
I want to make a small comment.
Siddharth.
Position of Mr. Jaitley in the party is undisputed. Let's not debate where he stands and what is his position within the party and in the government. He is a very tall leader of the party, and the entire party stands behind Mr. Jaitley. So that's not a confusion in the party or in the government, and Prime Minister has clearly stated that. So therefore, this
I think on this,
Mr. Jaitley, whether it is going to be weekend or not, is a futile debate. That's all I can say.
I would only say that those who have,
and I'm sure he has a high respect in regard for the Prime Minister and for Mr. Amit Shah, and he'll continue.
Okay, but you know, he has a volatile nature that can make him a threat to the party, etc. But he's also seen by some people as spearheading the National Herald case and 2G cases. So it's going to be interesting the way this goes. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, we are heading to 9 p.m. on the Newshour, and on the Newshour we have many other aspects also to look at. And at 9 p.m. on the Newshour tonight, the Augusta political patronage comment, because this has to be looked at in detail. And then after that, the Congress being isolated within the opposition comment on GST, these two big debates. And at 10 p.m. tonight after that, the Pakistan dual leadership comment. And then at 10:25, 10:30, the big controversy on whether we can have simultaneous polls, which the Prime Minister wants in centre and state. We are heading back into 9 p.m. I'll see you in a few minutes.